Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Yes? Just 1 second. Yeah. So it's so nice to see you all. Thank you for coming. And I'm going to start now. So we are on time. You hear the bells in my town. So yeah, I'm very excited to be here. I've prepared this with a lot of love. And yes, it's my honor as always to be hopefully giving you something of use in your lives. And as you all know, I've called this, just 1 second because people are coming. I'm going to see if I've got the option of just letting them in without me having to go one by one. 1 second. Yes, I hope now it works. Yes. So as I was saying, I've called this masterclass or this sharing joy as a protection shield. And I have to be very honest, if I had heard this title, if I had been invited to a workshop or a masterclass like this some years ago, I wouldn't have probably come. It would have been, maybe I would have thought, oh, that sounds so fluffy, or that sounds really, so what? Not big deal. Joy, yes, nice. But I dare to put such a triggering title for me because I truly, truly believe what I said, and many, many, many paths that I've walked to get me to this point now in time take me to really believe that joy is the answer, the key answer, no? To many of our questions of how to move forward in our lives. What is the next stepping stone? And some people who are experts on the ageless wisdom, they even say that there's a whole science behind it. There's an esoteric initiation where they tell you you can blindfolded and ignorant, but we give you the shield of protection and the beacon of light. And it gives me goosebumps when I say it. And this thrilled me in a profound way because I come from a place where the south of Spain, famous for joyful people. And whenever I go, I burst in joy, just interacting with people on the streets, just with the person, the shopkeepers, the people parking beside me. It's really nice. But what really took me to such a different place, like England, where people are more serious, is that underneath that joy and that happiness, apparent happiness, there was a lot of grief and sadness. In fact, from that place is where deep flamenco comes from, you know, and very deep flamenco is like a cry of sorrow. So this, it was thrilling, and it always, you know, I always get questions, my Anglo-Saxon gravitation, where I really like to be with my Anglo-Saxon friends, and then the very, very Southern Spanish ones. And that difference, no, of character. And that takes me to this day and to share with you this science of joy, this understanding that what we need to look for is that in our lives. But of course, my question is, how can you be joyful if, you know, things come very difficult, if you get sick, if someone very close to you gets sick or dies, a divorce, moving to a new place where it can be very, very difficult. And I really wanted to understand how was this of joy, because you cannot really fake it. If there's something very deep and very not joyful happening, And the answer came as well from the ageless wisdom, and it was that they are not talking from the joy of I went to a party and how beautiful and joyful it was, but the joy of connecting to the higher realms, the joy of connecting with the highest spheres, the joy of connecting with our teacher and guides. And the joy of joining those forces needs to come from a place where I know how to connect with that. When I was receiving information from the other side, from the invisible, and at the same time I was researching what I was seeing and really looking for answers, looking for also a vocabulary to put into words the energy of Leo and the sun that I was receiving that was healing for me. And I was seeing really strong shifts happening in my reality. I started diving some months ago. This has come for years, but the last few months have been very strong. And I can tell you that because Venus has been it's going to be in total until the 8th of October for 4 months in Leo. We've just been in the Leo time. And she's been retrograding there for almost, a few months when she normally stays in one sign for one. Bear with me, you don't know astrology. Just imagine that the planet Venus representing the divine feminine, representing how I relate to you, how I relate to myself, how I relate to my environment, how I relate to my partner, to my family. That star, I know it's a planet, we call it a star here. That star, the morning star right now, because she's coming from the underworld. And if you look at it in the sky, you'll see her rising here in the northern hemisphere. That star is come out of the retrograde and is telling you, check out what's been happening for the last 3 months and tell me what needs to be destroyed, obsolete, destroyed in a Shiva way, okay? In a way where you can build something new. This is very important because we've also had a very powerful new moon a few days ago. And I know you play YouTube and all the astrologers are telling you always there's a very powerful this and a very powerful that. But this new moon is very strong because a new moon is when the sun and moon are together. You see it in the chart, the sun and the moon together. When it's a full moon, they are opposite. The new moon, sun and moon together were opposing Neptune. Neptune, which is in Pisces, she was in Virgo. Pisces represents the oceans, yes? Neptune, the ruler of the oceans. We humans, we only know 5% of the oceans. Yes, 5%. So what is underneath? It's hidden, it's unknown. Like the house that Pisces represents. The hidden, the unknown, karma. Neptune, the ruler, is looking in opposition at the moon, at the sun. And what is the dialogue? The dialogue is that the new moon is telling us, how do you personify who you really are? Is your personality really aligned with your soul? And if it's not, a new moon is a beginning. Then check it out and start doing that. And if you've already been looking for a long time to do that, review it. If you already walk your soul, review it, because the work is never ending. And we need to express that in a new way. This new moon opposing Neptune, Neptune in the highest form, represents unconditional love. Love represents the source, represents beauty and mysticism. It was a very mystic moon. We are still under the influence of it. So, how do you express that aspect of you, the artist in you? And by definition, from an astrological point of view, you and I are artists. There's an aspect of us that are artists. It can be expressed in a more intellectual way, with a painting, the way you move, the way you dance. But as an art here, I mean everything that we do. As an art here, it represents what Balloon Botan, representing the Mayan calendar and the Mayan wisdom, says time is art. And here, Neptune opposing the moon, how do you personify that? Is your personality really aligned with the truest art form that you represent? It might be that the truest art form that you represent is helping others, writing books, taking care of your children, or cooking. Here we are not looking for a specific representation. The lowest form of Neptune is addictions. No addictions to the typical, no substances, yes, but also work, also sex, spirituality. You can be addicted to spirituality, to therapy, to negativity, to positivity. Yes, all those addictions sustain the ego, and they are a way of escaping what is true in us. And you can say, okay, Sole, that's very generic. Social media is saturated with type of, okay, work your talk, do your soul work, blah, blah, blah. Why is it so important? It's so important because from here till the end of 2024, from an astrological perspective, time is accelerating. Yes, time is accelerating. You know that is not the same thing. Time now than before. And it's not because we are aging, because my daughter, who is 13, also says the same. Time is accelerating, and we are moving into a new place and paradigm. And this is no joke. I know paradigm is an overused word as well, but it's true that we are moving into a new paradigm. And the world that we are living right now is not the one you were living 3 years ago. And people who live in the mirage, in the understanding that they are very confused. And we need to adapt to these new times. We really need to adapt. And because of the speed and the toxicity and the dementia and the insanity that the collective is at the moment, and I know there's the opposite happening. But we need to understand that. Then there's a calling from the higher spheres for people like you and for me to walk our talk, to be aligned with our soul purpose, and to be in service of others. Now, that's really easy, and you might be as a servant of others. If you are exhausted, if you are not getting enough support, and you are totally in service, then there's something that is wrong there. Because the service needs to come from that place of absolute joy and prosperity. And when I mean prosperity, in the highest form of prosperity, those of you that I know there are many of you here that work with me in groups and individually, I know that you understand what I'm saying, but let me please share with the others that are new to the work that when I mean prosperity, of course, I mean resources, money, matter, on the fourth lowest tier of the understanding of what is prosperity. There are 4 levels according to my methodology and what I share with you. The other one is emotional prosperity. The other one is how I nourish myself, how I spend my time, how much energy I spend taking care of me, not in a self-centered, narcissistic, I'm going to make myself a cake and a bath, not in that type of way. In my psychic energy, in my connection to my soul, in listening, in silence, in contemplation. And that requires a certain level of self-discipline and a purification of any resistance that I might have to move and escalate into a new dimension in our lives, because it can be scary. This is very nice saying, but then to act out, then to really do the work, I know myself, the first one, I know how complicated it can be if we are not properly understanding the context, the direction, the place where I'm coming from, and where I'm trying to get. Why? There are many reasons, and there's not enough time here. That's why I'm offering courses and things to really explore and unpack this, because we have confused functionality with presence. And we are trying to make an impact, to be of use, to heal my trauma, to be perfect, to have the house like this, and people are exhausted. I'm finding that people who should be taking care of themselves are really exhausted. And I come from that place. I know it very well. And it's a place that if you are a world server, like Alice Bailey coined this terminology, where you have a path of helping others, and in reality, we are all in that path in one way or the other, then we need to change the place from where we are coming from, because maybe it was very valid last year or 3 years ago. I tell you, at the speed of time and how things are moving in the direction they are moving, we are going to need a new level of stamina, a new skin, and, well, I repeat over and over, and power, personal power. Yes, personal power. Yes, I could talk about the love. I could talk about intelligence, but all of that is rooted in power. You know, if you work with me, that I say that over and over and over and over. And I've had a lot of resistance to really get into that realm, because my associations with power were very patriarchal, negative, and I always thought of power in terms of hierarchy and, you know, like it is in our system. But personal power is aligned with the energies of the source. True source and true health come from a place of power, intrinsic power. And the realization of that can be complex for some of us. And this is where I come here to offer you something, at least this morning, ideas, and in the future, maybe a process, if you work with me, that can be aligned with us. And if you choose to work with others, it has to be a process where personal power is truly addressed. If that is not the addressing, the heart energy, if there's no power, is not strong enough, because the seat of power is the root of the body, where the taboo is, where sex, death, transformation, Scorpio. And it's a complex place to get into. And some of us have come into a reality where we can truly disempowered. But if you look at astrological charts, I see it over and over and over in the many, many people that I see. They are super powerful. And I'm not going to trick people in telling them that if I don't see it. Super powerful people. But aspects of ourselves are not developed, and they might be very powerful, I don't know, in money, but not in sex, not in relationships. So a quest for power is important. And always that power is to be shared. The more power I have to create, the more power I'm going to have to share with you. And that's what we want, that this becomes contagious. And it is, because there's many people who are working on this very high level field. This is my proposal. No, this is what I think is very important. There are many astrological things going on that support what I'm telling you, but it would be impossible in just 1 hour to go through all of them. I can tell you, for your own reflections, think what you were doing 18 years ago and 28 years ago. If you are very young and you were 2 years old, or you were 1 year old, or you were even not even conceived, check what your parents were doing. Check what was happening in your country. Check what was happening in the world. But most than anything, first in your proximity, no, in your intimate arena, like your family, your parents, yourself, even if you were two. And understand that there's a fractal of time where now there's a parallelism. And it can really shock you in a really nice way what was happening at the time, what is happening to you. You have to be really smart and read through the lines. But I tell you, it's incredible. I'm working with people on this, working even with my partner and with his process and what was going. And yes, I see your comments exactly. What he is going through massive healing because this, and he's plotting what was happening. And it's not that if you don't know astrology or you don't have this information, that doesn't happen naturally. But if you have the information, because astrology is a map, you save a lot of time and maybe tears and a lot of going in wrong paths. Why? Because new moon in Virgo, because this Virgo energy, super important, where Venus is very close and where she is receiving energy from Virgo and from Leo, the initiates, are telling us to really make a decision. And don't think, oh, yes, it's obvious. I want to be part of the change and everything be lovely and everything be nice. Don't think it's so obvious. You really need to really say, yes, I make the option. Or higher up my consciousness, escalate, and be in a place where I feel stronger, where I radiate more, where I, regardless if I'm sick or I'm going through problems, we are not here selling a new age reality where everything is perfect. And I am stronger, or I join a collective insanity. Because we are influenced by the collective, karma, by our culture, and by our biology. So aligning with the soul, we make these decisions, and we continue belonging to the collective and to our culture and to everything else. But I transcend, a part of me transcends that. It's not that I push it away and I'm not that. No. I integrate all that, I transcend it, and I live from the soul in a more cosmic level. That requires a series of decisions to work in the paradigm of magic and not in the psychological paradigm where lots of people live and they are dedicated to heal the trauma of 100 generations back. This is a never-ending thing. And I don't know you, but it's quite boring. Yes, of course, if I have some trauma comes and I have to address it, I address it. Yeah, and for example, I use craniosacral therapy. I'm a student of craniosacral therapy myself, and I go there if I have to realign my body and everything else. But that doesn't mean that I'm just going to be looking for the problem, for the trauma, from the thing that I'm doing wrong, because that's not aligned with joy. That's aligned with something else. And there's an industry behind therapy. And therapy has its place. The work that I do, that I share with you, has therapeutic effects, but this is not therapy. Because if I'm just a therapist, I need you to need therapy. If I am a companion, if I am giving you something more than that, if I am just connecting you with your health, not with your disease, with your health, then there's a possibility for you and for me to grow. And this is not my invention. This is truths that we have that have been exposed for many years, but there's an industry, there's a time for smoke sellers, a time for delusion, and we have to come to places where I say, no, I want to be empowered. It's not that I'm going to be in the delusion that I'm empowered, because purification is needed, because inner work is needed, but no constant just looking back and looking for the defects that sustain my negative thought, that sustain that I'm not good enough. That, I think, is the end of that time. I've done a lot of that, but I think it's enough. It's enough of following through a narrative where I am sick, where my parents did that to me, my grandparents did that to me, because they know the ancestors have their place. But we have to look into the future. We have to look into what we came here to do. And we have to be very understanding, integrated, whatever has been happening, integrating all the joy. This is what we are going to be doing a lot in the Lion Initiates. All the joy that I didn't integrate, that I truly didn't take, embrace my reality, accept myself and the other as it is, reducing my level of self-judgment and judgment to others, and judgment to what life is and what it should be that I think, and move in a paradigm that is new. It's new. It's new for you and it's new for me. The cosmic veils have opened up, and there's a lot of energy coming our way, a lot of assistance. We are not alone. It's a huge delusion to think that you or I are alone. There's beautiful forces. We have our teachers, we have our guides, we have the guardians of those places where we are moving into. And we need to learn to connect to them, not as begging, oh, please help me, assist me, oh, please, I'm so disempowered. No, from a place of befriending, and befriending the divine, befriending the breath of life, and really existing from that place. So I'm going to share with you, if you let me, please. Let me see how. Okay. So in the work that I do, and many other people do, we work with symbols, because the symbols, they line the threshold between our world and the other world. Oscar Wilde said that the mystery is not in the invisible, it's in the visible world. I think that's amazing. And our connection is through the symbol, not through what Sole says or Peter says or John says. The symbol. The symbol decodes the information that you have inside. If you are resonating with anything that I'm saying, it's because there's an information and a field that you and I share together. And that's ancient, and that's galactic and cosmic. And there's a blueprint in you and in me, and that needs to be acknowledged and awakened through symbols. In the courses that we are going to be doing, we are going to work a lot with symbols. In the past, we've done a bit, and now we're going to do a lot, because the symbol awakens the information in us. This is Ankh, and this is the seed of life. At the background, the yellow. The Ankh is mystery. Yes, feminine, masculine, whatever. Ankh is way more than that. As Ankh is at the core of the evolution of humanity. So this is a great, and I will teach you how to activate these symbols, how to meditate with them, how to teach others, how to run your own meditation circles with symbols. Because this, you let go of you having to share any truths. The symbols hold the truths. And it's incredible. I've heard from people I work with the most incredible things from them meditating, from seeing the Ankh in their DNA, in every cell, from having dreams. You know, it's truly fascinating. And I know many of you are really connected to this. This is ancient. This is beyond Egypt. This comes from the invisible, because everything comes from the invisible, really. Then here, you see, we need, and the work is based on opening our channels so we can make a space for the new information. There are energy channels that are blocked. And what we need here is those energy channels to be truly unlocked. And because we are evolving into something we have never been, there are new energy channels that haven't been mapped just yet. We are just discovering, because quantum physics is just at the baby steps of something huge. From a scientific point of view, this is yet to be discovered. But these new channels of information is why you are here and you are in many places and you are experiencing incredible synchronicities to a new level. So this is very important to understand, to attend these channels, to receive this information that you need in your life. So what are we doing here? We need to connect with our multidimensionality. This is where our potential is. Knowing the biology, I'm Sole, I'm this, I'm Rim, I'm Nia, I'm Karen, and this is what I am, and my potential is this, and my astrology is this, and that's that. No. This is a true representation, this painting done by Alex Gray, a very enlightened artist, and he is in the Chapel of Sacred Mirrors, where he puts the human from the bones, the most dense and archaic place, to the very, 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 very most subtle energy field. This is you and me, and way more than anything that a painting can describe. We need to connect with that level of multidimensionality to awaken the potential that is lying, that hasn't been yet expressed. This hasn't got age. Doesn't matter if you are 20 or 85. There's new ways, because we are ever expanding spiritually. Jupiter is in Taurus, and Jupiter is giving an opportunity to expand what we believe is possible. So this is truly, truly fascinating to start seeing yourself as a multidimensional being and not just as earth, bones, flesh, which is beautiful, but we are more than that. And it's not mambo jumbo, wishful thinking. This is pure science. And this is how people heal. And this is where we need to connect with our joy from this place. So what do we need to do? Activate our electromagnetic field. Be in coherence in brain, thought, heart, and soul. The way we breathe and the way we move. So this needs to be practiced, because this is a new place in you. It's a new place in me. And it needs to be worked. It needs to be activated. And that way, We can experience a bioenergetic synchronization of our field. And from that place, we can live, not from just my psychological reality, how good my life is or how bad my life is. Because life fluctuates, change, and then it's what we are going to be living in polarity, and depending on the circumstances on how we live our lives. Yes. So I love this painting because you see here something, a representation of someone, of an energy that comes from the other side, and from its third eye is really connecting with you and with your client, with your lover, with your child, with your friends, with your mother, with your in physicality as we are here, or just with thought. And these people represented here, that could be you and could be me, are in existence. They are in alignment. The lion's mane that I always speak about, that connects with the purity of mind, you can see her connecting to that. You can see she being fed with this fire of creation and connecting to the other and creating and connecting to a field. So she, you, me, this way we make our relationships better, our relationships to ourselves, to the other, to life, to our ancestors, to everything. We start respecting life and living in coherence. And we connect with what in craniosacral therapy, what in ancient traditions like the Hawaiian, it is called the breath of life. The breath of life that you and I have, and that's why we are here, moving our arms, looking at the computer and listening, because there's a breath of life piercing you through you and through me. We are not dead, we are alive, and we have to work with the forces of life, not death. So we connect with this breath. And this is what I was saying before. There's an intrinsic health that is always with you. Because life is movement. And where movement is, restricted disease appears. This is Taylor Steele, who in the 19th century started working with craniosacral therapy, that work with the fluids, the spiritual, not just physical fluid that goes from the vein, from the brain into the spine, that washes the whole of who you are. This is what we are attending here. And this is where I want you, and I invite you with all my heart to connect to your health. And I don't care how sick you might be, you have intrinsic health that is always with you. This is where a good healer touches upon your health. And then your health knows how to heal your body. I don't heal your body. Nobody heals your body. It's you. It's your body. These are the forces we are connecting with. So connecting to these forces, connecting to this joy, you are connecting to the cosmic creative force of the universe, which is crucial for the initiates. So whether she's painting, but you could be cooking, you could be dancing, you could be watching TV, I don't care. You are really connected, making an unbreakable connection to the divine forces. I love, this energy behind, and I will share with you a little bit now, and you can see the protection from any entities, dark forces that want to get there. You are connected to joy. You are connected to your ancestors. You are connected to the creative force. You are connected to source. I don't care how you call that. You are connected to the great ones, to the masters, to the guides. You are protected and you live in joy. So, what are we doing here? What we are doing here is understanding the importance of connecting to that creative force. That is a force of life. To start changing the paradigm, connecting to health, not to disease. Connecting to moving forward, not backwards. Only backwards to jump more forward. To really not disregard the place where you are. Whether it's depression, grief, you embrace it, you accept it, but you will start touching on something else. And if you are in a fantastic, great place, to learn to cultivate that place, to expand your spirituality, and to be more generous with that. Because at the end of the day, this spiritual expansiveness is to really, really, really share with the others, to really, really be in service. That's the Virgo moon. How are you in service? If I'm in service and enslaving myself to others and I treat myself badly, I'm not in true service. You see? It requires to really position ourselves aligning with our souls, to really activate the energy channels, because what information do we have on how to do this? This is the new information. This methodology that I bring and that other people bring, they are Aquarian. They are Aquarian. This new paradigm of touching into health, not into, I'm going to find your problem. I'm just going to see your problem. No, we are not bypassing the problems. We are not also spiritual unicorns from New Age, just bypassing. No, we are not. We purify. We understand the density that we carry. But the approach is different. The paradigm is different. And it requires a lot of intentionality. A lot. And I know, because I work with so many people, intentionality in most of us is not strong enough. It's more in daydreaming, kind of how beautiful it would be like that. But the intentionality, I tell you, is like the one of the lion. The one of the lion. The power that I tell you is the one of the lion. The spirituality of that I tell you is that of the lion. No wonder that wherever you look in spirituality, the lion or the felines are involved, because they bring a frequency that can teach a lot humans. And this is not New Age thinking. This is just shamanic understanding of reality. The lion holds keys. Christ, the symbol, is a lion. Christ's consciousness is the avatar that is awakening right now. You and I are cells of the new avatar. For me, your awakening is as important as mine, and I hope for yours, mine too. And we are together in this. We are moving into Aquarius. Aquarius is the sign of the group. Opposite to what? Leo. If Leo is not realized, if I'm not sovereign, if I am childish, if I'm immature, if I'm narcissistic, if I'm not living my connection to the creative source, it's impossible from astrological terms that I'm directly connected to the future of the group. And the future of the group needs you. And it's irrelevant if we see that the outcome of all of this in 2 years, in 20, or in 200. We are paving the ground for so many to come. Like so many others paved the ground from us. The wisdom that I'm sharing to you is based on the study of many ancient ones, the good ones, that you can say, yes, I can rely on that. I can trust that. And in this, we become strong. In group work, we become strong. Why do I offer you group work? And in this masterclass, I open the Lion Initiates that we are starting this work, because I truly believe it's not because I want to sell you a course. Of course, I would love you to come, but it's not that. It's that we really come stronger in groups. We truly become stronger in groups. There's no doubt about it. Spiritual work becomes stronger if we belong to a group. And it's not necessarily that people know you and that you share your life story. No, it's a quantum field. Like this work is aligned with a field. It's not mine. It's a field of consciousness that I respond to and gives me the strength to share this with you. Is the messages that one gets, then one validates them. And then one stops looking for people who tells you the answers. The answers are in you. The guru is in you. It's not the time of the outer gurus. It's the time of your inner guru. The power is in you. The answers are in you. And that's why the symbols are so important for you. For so many years, I wasted my life thinking who the hell I was to really think that my input was of any importance. I just couldn't conceive it. And now I understand that my input is as important as yours. And yours for me and me for yours. And for everyone that we come into contact, even crossing the streets, because we need to radiate something that doesn't come from, oh, I'm going to be super goddess, godlike. No, something that radiates because I'm powerful and connected to my heart. And I'm in devotion to this breath of life, to this concept of true health, and to this understanding that life is so incredible and so worth living. And many of us haven't believed that, or still don't believe it. Still, there are parts of us that don't truly believe it. It's our job to really serve the forces of life. The forces that are calling us to walk our turn. What is astrology for me? It's not to tell you who you are. It's to give you a map. And I work a lot into karmic astrology, draconic astrology, so you can have extra information on a more mystical soul level. That is what my work is based on a soul level. This is, for me, at the core of any worth process, any worthy process that you might engage, or you might engage with others, even if you don't say. I know we have Mel here who works with children. You're not going to tell these children. But of course, if you are radiating from this place, if you are in this field, you're just radiating that. This is not about becoming an evangelist and preaching people. There's plenty of that around. We live our truths and we let people live their truths. But we are connected, plunge into a field of absolute connection to the life forces that come from us. And from that place, we become stronger, powerful, generous, open to receive, and open to dream, to vision. This is very, very, very important right now. In 2024, I might say change the song, but the song will be, this will be the previous song. It will not be different, because in 2024, things change. You see? Truly, physically, people are going to realize it. And then people who didn't make the change, they are going to be in trouble. And you and I are going to be very important that we are in that, so we can radiate this. Like many people in the past, they did their change to be in a consciousness that has been so important for you and for me to move. You see, this is group work. This is soul work. This is not my process, self-centered process. This is for you. And this is for me. This is for your children, for mine, and for the children of our children, to do this type of work. Now, I would like to share how I am going to do this work in the next few months, okay? 1 second. Let me see. So, the second is playing with me. Give me one. Okay. And now, bear with me a second. Let's hope and now okay. So, as I say, this joy is at the connecting core of this whole process. Not just my process, but the process of really engaging exactly in how this is represented visually. My whole spine, I love that this is from the back. My whole field of consciousness is guarded, is connected. Look at the eyes going into the pineal gland, into the hypothalamus, that run all our hormones. Yes, healing, the ancestors, the ascended masters, the source, and here the forces that are not aligned with this haven't got access to me. And I'm living, I don't have to be looking at the here because I'm just creating. I'm aligned with my creation. The lion initiates, which now is, okay, sorry, but how do I do this? I get a lot. And this is where I put all my creative energy, where I dedicate my personal and my professional life and everything that I have into really putting this in your service. Is how I activate this multidimensional perspective. How do I really connect to joy? From my perspective, no? There's so many others doing such incredible work. So it's an ancestral method that is adapted to our time to connect and activate the inner technology that we have. And like I say, always helping and assisting others. The dates are 4 months because it's a time that it's a quarter of the year going through the autumn and the winter. And I really like that concept of going through seasons together with a framework, with a container. And the design, it's designed to equip spiritually, physically, emotionally, and mentally to navigate reality. So my background is in business. I did a bachelor's degree in business. I did master's in business. I worked in business for a long time, and I could have had a very successful career in business. And so why I say this because I can't, and my son is in Taurus. So I cannot avoid to really, I was avoiding it for a long time and not anymore, understanding that we need a pragmatic approach to spirituality. Okay, I do all that, but how do I walk my talk? How I create a good business? How do I create good health? How do I communicate efficiently? All of that is the idea with these courses that I designed, with the symbols that I give you, with the meditations, with the rituals, with everything that we work, with all the authors that we work, and with my own synthesis of all of this. Is how do I navigate this, and how do I find ways of doing it? And of course, for this, I offer, and I will offer for no more than restricted, limited time, because my aim is to move into going deeper into the fields of just teaching groups. But for now, I offer individual assistance. I offer mentoring. I say it's 1 hour. All of you know, the ones that work with me, that we stay much longer than that if it's needed. If it's not needed, we stay less. If I never break a process, I never look at the watch. I am totally with you in your process, and I'm just not seeing you. I'm just really assisting you. I'm available. Of course, it's not a 24/7 thing because I haven't got that capability, but I'm truly, truly holding you. And that is a service that I never valued in the past in myself, but that I truly give you, and I think it's very valuable with these teachings. The number of hours of teaching is 21 hours, 4 months of every Thursday meeting, apart from the Christmas holidays, where we record the teachings and we do also practices. Sometimes we do sharings, because it's in the one-to-ones, it's impossible that we have enough time to really go through everything that is behind. And of course, you will also always have certain bibliographies, certain books, certain even movies or other things that can support what you are working with individually and in group. Ceremony, because together we are going through the autumn equinox and the winter solstice, and we will finish on Imbolc, the night of the lights ceremony. So I think it's very auspicious to go through all of this with a group of beautiful minds. We offer also a WhatsApp community group. Last time it was small groups. This time it's a whole group. Don't worry, I'm not into loads of messages. No, good morning, good evening, no. Just relevant information regarding the group. Just a group that is solid and powerful, but not necessarily where we share anything personal or where we move into watching YouTubes from other people. No, we keep the work very secret and in a safe container. And then a certificate of attendance, of assistance, that if you work in places where you need this type of work, because with the symbols, the sacred geometry, based on the work of Hellinger, for example, or Steele Taylor, the father of craniosacral therapy, I could do you a certificate with relevant information about what we've done that could be or not of service to you, but that you will have as well. So, like I said, the teachings they have a pragmatic approach to increase those levels that we've mentioned before. So always looking into how I live this reality. Is a spiritual education, so I will base my work on the other masters that I've read and that I've worked with, and the greatest master is you. So the idea is to connect that through that spiritual connection, education, you connect with the master inside you. Then initiates of the masteries, the magic paradigm. We come out of the psychological paradigm, looking at trauma, looking at this. Yes, we will have to look at, but I will teach you how to work through rituals. Those who have worked with me with rituals, there's going to be many new things. It's not repeating. some of them repeating, some of them new. And then exercise, meditations, and I will not overload you. So with just a little time every day that you don't need to give any feedback to anyone but yourself, this is a very, very good work to put you on track or to make your track stronger of where you are really heading, no? And then what is new is this recorded meditation connecting us to the sacred sites to really learn to travel, to do astral traveling, to connect to places, to your environment, to learn to connect with these sacred spots that can activate very incredible codes of light that lie within us. I know, for example, one of the people here, she's got her DNA thing, and she knows that she's got roots in Egypt. So she knows this. I never done a DNA test, but I know my roots because I've meditated long enough in this. And I know these sites can activate places in you that might be unknown. So we will have Luxor and Mecca to start with. Then the others, they are to be discovered as prizes. So the true value of this program, of all those many things, is £1,399, but I'm just giving it for 576, which really is nothing if you put everything into everything I'm giving. So the idea, because I know for some people can be financially uncomfortable to pay that amount in one go, where I gift you, if you pay in one go, one extra session, because it's, I appreciate that, the one payment, but I appreciate it equally if you do the 4 payments of £144 for 4 months. This is my offering. I know it's not very popular to share money factors and to do this, but this is what it is. This is the value. This is what I exchange. And I think the true value, because, you calculate the hours, the study, the preparation, the sessions, everything else, it's a lot of work. But I truly, truly want this to be accessible, like I would need it for myself, and like I need other things to be accessible for me. I want this to be accessible for everyone. I would never, anyone who have a true intention to come, I would never throw away. But I also don't subsidize people's holidays so they can come. So no, I think it's a fair exchange. I think it's a great course. There's already 12 people coming. The 12 of them are incredible souls. The majority of them I've worked with, some others I haven't. And I'm very, very excited to share this wisdom with you, to know you better, to always in sacred space and be at your service. And so you can be in a new way in the service of others, or maybe for the first time in service. So I would love to, before we go, we are 6 minutes over time. I would love to someone who is working with me to maybe share with the others how you have experienced the work. I would really appreciate that. So I'm not just talking myself. Mia, would you like to?
Yes, hello.
1 second that I take myself out of the screen. Let me see how I do that. And I put you. Yes.
Hey, hi everyone. Thank you so much, Sally, for that. That was really inspiring, and I'm really excited for the course. Yes, I've worked with Sally for many years, and the last two courses, Tools from Heaven and Tools from Earth. So it felt really right to continue with this work so we could do a whole year plus more of this journey with Soleil and the people in the group. But yeah, for me, like I've been a spiritual practitioner for many years and I'm really devoted to my practices, but these courses have really accelerated my growth and empowerment. And I just find the rituals have been really, really empowering. I've just shifted a lot of energy. And yeah, also the one-to-one sessions, Soleil, you're always so on point and so precise. And yeah, I find that your words kind of, there's really like key sentences that come in through the one-to-one practices and the group sessions. And for me, they like come in like mantras. So just when I need them as well, they just like roll around my consciousness and support me continually. So thank you for that, Soleil. And yeah, I love this work, and I'm really excited to continue and yeah, connect with the Leo energy and the ancient frequencies, and yeah, your transmissions and the power of the group. So yeah, thank you.
Nia, you're so very kind. Thank you. It's an honor to work with someone like you and with all the others. It's my greatest pleasure. I learn a lot from you. So thank you. Thank you so much for sharing with the others. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share before we close?
Sure. I have not worked so long with Sole. I've had really the pleasure to work one-on-one, for the past few months. And like Nia, I also have been, spiritual practitioner for a long time. But it's like I can really say that since I've started the one-to-one support with Sole, I've really noticed like an incredible shift in my life in so many aspects, like from work to personal relationships. And I'm so excited, to continue this journey. And just because of the sheer power that each session has had and the impact that it has had in my life. So yeah, I really recommend, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, Pietro, thank you so much. So good to see you. Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure. Anyone else? One more? Karen, yes.
I'm just blown away, as always. Absolutely, astounded, that I am able to, do this with you, in this lifetime. It's wonderful. And I just get so emotional. It's just so immense. And I have so much gratitude, and I'm so looking forward to one-to-ones with you as well. And sharing with other beautiful people in the group as well. So thank you. And I'm so excited and grateful. Thank you.
Karen, you're so beautiful. Thank you so, so much. Thank you. Just 1 second. I'm going to put myself here. Yeah. Well, you cannot imagine the love I have for these people and for all the people to come, because it's very, very empowering to work with you. No, I really mean it. It fills my life. It's exciting, and sometimes if I feel low, I just work with you, and the field of the Akashic records that you and I share, and I finish the session and I'm on fire, and it's because that energy comes through. I promise you, I've got those experiences. I didn't have them in the past, and this is how we are gonna finish this session. And what I want you to take, whether you come with me or not in this journey. I told you in an email that I was very sick. I got very sick for years, for at least 5 years. I've been just relatively recently, in the last, I can say 2 years, slowly, slowly, until now I'm in quite of a big peak, yes? What happened was, please take this with you from this workshop. Don't leave just yet. And if you leave, watch the recording. That I was using what you use to heal others and to be with others, and to, when you share, doesn't matter if you are cooking for others, okay? It's psychic energy. It's called psychic energy. And psychic energy is like the sun. This is, we are going to look at this in the initiates in depth. Because the sun is the ruler of life. The symbol is a circle with a dot. And that dot is the psychic energy, okay? And you radiate that energy. But when you exhaust yourself from giving psychic energy, yes, I know you shouldn't give your energies, the light force and whatever. No, and I tell you, I've explored this years. It doesn't matter how much aloha you share. If you share a lot of psychic energy and you are attacked by other people, especially, and life, and that can happen because we will look at that also on how, on naming a spade, what happens is that your psychic energy depletes, it's depleted. And the psychic energy is in the blood. The Buddhists say mind is in the blood. So what happens is that very powerful healers, very powerful teachers, they get very sick. And I'm not saying I'm very powerful, I'm careful here. What I mean is I've seen it in others, and that's why I believe this, and I've explored it and everything. What I mean is they exhaust their psychic energy, and they got blood issues that can cause even cancer. And that can happen whether you are a teacher or whether you are a cook. The point is, take care of your psychic energy. And if you work a lot of, like I did, surround yourself by joyful people. It's very important. It's very interesting. If you've seen the people that have come into camera, Pietro, Noor, Nia, Karen, if you saw them because I have the pleasure to have seen them in real life, Pietro, not yet, I will see him in Germany, but they are joyful. There's an element of them in joy. And that's one of the reasons why I got better, because I'm working with very, very joyful people. But they might don't think they are, or like Matthias, I'm seeing him as well here, or it's people that have that power. Surround yourself by that. Activate the joy in your life. Go back and think of all the joyful moments in your life and cherish them and stay in the memory for quite some time. And one last thing that I want you to take today, please, is the joy that you receive from looking at a flower. I'm not saying, oh, I went to a party. Looking at a flower, at a baby, at a beautiful man or woman, at a beautiful gesture. Stay there. Stay there. Oh, what a beautiful flower, and you burst into tears. Stay looking at that. Don't jump into WhatsApp. Don't go into the next thing. Don't stay there. I know it sounds super simple, but it saved, one of the things that it saved my life is staying in those moments of utter joy, of remembering, remember when I saw my daughter for the first time and looking at her. That was one of the biggest moments of joy of my life. You've been mothers or fathers, I know you know what I'm talking about. If you're an auntie or Nick, you know what I'm talking about. That was a moment, and you had to stay there because it was like, whoa. But those moments are in everyday life. Saint Teresa said, Santa Teresa, God is in the small things. Stay in there, don't rush. Because they become capsules. And they say that when we die and we transit to the other side, those moments become candles lit candles that we cross and we look at them in our path back to source. So take that. I know, as I'm saying, I don't want to go into the whole breathing kind of proper meditation space. So as I'm saying it, I'm invoking that into our lives. And teach and share this with your clients, with your friends, with your children, with everyone. To stay in the joy, in that joy. Don't rush into something else. Oh, look, how beautiful sunset. Oh, my sister is waiting. No, stay in the sunset. What a meditation. Stay there. Stay. And yes, I have to go. I've gone way over time, but my apologies. Thank you so much. And if any questions, please write to me. And I will record. It's been recorded, so I will share it so you can share with anyone that you think you might benefit from this. Thank you, Lola. And thank you, everyone. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy.